Crafty Babes, it's Andrea, and I am back for another Ask Andrea session. You guys loaded me up with questions, and I've been thinking about all my answers. Some I haven't had the time to prepare for, so you might get some off-the-cuffness from me, which is great. So we're going to get started. One thing actually before we get started is if you've never seen any of my Ask Andrea episodes, I have 5 others and a playlist on my YouTube channel. So check those out. You might find that there's some questions that you might have that are answered in some of those episodes. But today we're going to get into some really fun stuff. So let's get started. My first question is from Zook Paper Company. And her question is, just found you on YouTube. It's so awesome. My question is, how do you plan out your videos to stay so consistent on YouTube? Do you have a system? And this is one of the areas in my life that's kind of fly by the seat of my pants. A lot of things get planned out. A lot of things are planned ahead of time. But because YouTube videos take quite a bit of effort, I have to really want to make a video about something in order to spend the time filming it and editing and making title cards and there's just a lot involved in making a YouTube video. So if this was my full-time gig, I would have a schedule, I would have series going, but that's not really it's not really feasible. So if it's something that I know I want to present as far as a design team project, then I will plan to do that, which means I have to make sure my phones are set up, my lights set up, and I have to want to be away from my phone because I use my phone to film it. So I have to be okay with not having my phone at my fingertips while I'm filming. And I also have to be mentally prepared because when the camera turns on over my craftiness, something happens and I kind of freeze creatively. And I think Sue's Fish and I have talked about this before. We both kind of get stage fright in a way. It's a very different feeling, and I don't know what happens to me, but as soon as the camera turns on when I'm crafting, it's almost like I just get stuck. So the more I do them, though, the better that they get, and the more comfortable I feel. But staying consistent is not really happening right now. It's a little bit willy-nilly. I've put out a lot of content recently because I have a new intro. I wanted to get back into it. I missed recording. I missed sharing in that format. So as far as planning for things, there is basically one thing that I do to plan for my videos. I just make a list of the videos that I want to make, and if they happen, they happen. If I'm not super energized about it, I just won't turn the camera on, and that's just a preference. So sometimes I've never filmed anything that I have not then edited and shared. So I guess if the camera's on, I'm going to make it worth the while of making a video for it. So I don't know if that really answered your question. So basically, I don't plan out too much other than I just have an idea of what I want to film. So, okay, let's see. Kira Gets Crafty has a few questions, so we're gonna go one by one. She says, when did you drop out of the Gossamer Blue design team and why? So I left in February. And basically the reason why was because I got another opportunity and there was no way for me to add on. I had to let something go. And I had been with Gossamer Blue for a long time, so a year and a half. And that was just an absolute dream. I loved that design team. But I felt like if I had to give something up, that I could give up that design team because I kind of felt like my style was just going in a little bit of a different direction. I just needed something fresh and new, and an opportunity with Felicity Jane came along, and I felt very compelled to take that. So I did, and Lori was very gracious and supported me. So that felt good, because obviously I felt bad for leaving, and that's not something that I intended to do. But I did feel like style-wise, I was growing and just moving in a different direction. So I just wanted to take the opportunity that was there, and I absolutely love being on the Felicity Jane design team. So it was no more than just I happened to need to free up some space to make room for other assignments and then another design team. So she asks, what has been my favorite design team to work for? And there is absolutely no way that I could pick a favorite, because the teams that I am on right now are all of my absolute favorites. So these products and these manufacturers are products that I was purchasing even before I considered design team. So what's amazing about that is that is a true passion for these products. It isn't, hey, will you come be on our design team? Oh, sure. What do you make? You know, it was not that. I was extremely familiar with their products, knew exactly how it fit into my style and where it fit into my style. Like, for example, Ellie Studio. I use their stuff mostly for my family 12 by 12 albums, because their products are everyday life stuff. And that's what I do. I document and capture everyday stuff. So Felicity Jane, their products are beautiful and floral and feminine. So I use those for my traveler's notebook or my personal album, so that they fit more with me and the pictures of my outfits, or, you know, just a more girly feel. And then Illustrated Faith is beyond words. I love being on this team, and it drives me to grow in my faith, and it drives me to try new things. So I would say that they all have parts about them that I absolutely adore and that are perfect for me. So, you know, I don't want to say that like one's better than the other, because every team has their flaws and every team has the things that they excel at. And that's just, it's natural. So picking those things out is not really what I need to do, but I could not pick a favorite, because I've been extremely blessed to have been handpicked by the companies that I love the absolute most. And one of the other questions that she asks is, what's your dream design team? And my answer is I'm on them. There isn't anything out right now that I'm like trying to climb toward or feel like I'm being pulled to apply or any of that. So there are amazing manufacturers and kit clubs out there. But for me right now, in the season that I'm in and the way that I'm creating and the things that I'm documenting, these work for me, and I don't ever want that to change, but I know it does. Things ebb and flow, and at this point, the 3 design teams that you all know about are perfect for me, and the 4th one, little secret that has not been announced yet, but you are not going to be shocked or surprised when it's announced. They are perfect for me and my style, and I feel like I give them in return I give them the absolute best of me, because these are the products that I would love to create with, even on my own. So, sorry, my computer locked up, so I'm gonna have to like move it around. Okay, so let's see. We're done with Kira's questions. I hope I answered those. Okay, M. Sullivan 4172. Hello. She asks, how did I start building a fan base? What blog did I use for crafting? And what are some tips for those that might want to try and build that kind of stuff someday to be on a design team? So when I started sharing craftiness online, it was 2010. And I started with a free WordPress blog. It was just the easiest. And at the time, it was like TypePad, Blogger, and WordPress, and I honestly didn't like the look and feel of other people's blogs on those 2 other platforms, so I went with WordPress, and I'm still with WordPress, actually. And the way that we connected and met people was in Linky parties. So all of you, raise your hands if you remember linky parties. And this was before Instagram and, crafty Facebook pages weren't necessarily that popular. And the idea of a linky party was you would link up a craft that you would finish, or that was posted on your blog. And once you post, the etiquette was that if you post your link to this party, then you go and click on 3 or 5 other people's links and go show them some love and comment and like their stuff. And that is how I got to know people. So that's how people got to know me. And then it just kind of snowballed. And then once Instagram showed up, that was, I don't know, it was just, at first it was not a game changer, but it definitely turned into the place where people connect and build and see you. So I do not feel like a blog is where you're going to connect with people or where people are going to find you, but I do find blogs to be extremely valuable, especially if you want a design team job, because that is like your portfolio, like your resume. Somebody needs to be able to go to your home and see how you live, essentially. Whereas Instagram is where you're gonna show what you can do. People are gonna be able to find you when you use hashtags or when you tag products. And it's just being consistent and taking clear, crisp photos and being yourself. So that's to me where the connections are going to happen now. I don't know if I would have had the same growth in my circle had I not started with the blog. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'm not sure, because I started in kind of a different environment than how we are now. But that's what I would suggest. If you are someday looking to be on a design team, you need to show manufacturers and product designers how you use their stuff and how you use it creatively. And they want to be able to, you're a representation of their product. So you need to represent it and show it off in a way that's pleasing. And so, look at other people. Look at the blogs of the designs look at the blogs of the design teams that you like, and practice your photography, or, get better at editing your photos and make them nice and bright, or styling your photos, that kind of stuff. And no, it's not all about how you present the project, but that's the visual that people see. So very important, very important. And in some of my older videos, we talk about some tips on how to get good photos, just in general, what design teams look for and stuff. So thank you for that question. Okay. Oh, the other part about that I missed was my advice was I said be yourself, take clear and bright photos, post and comment consistently. So like connecting with other people like we were talking about before. So good tip. Oh my gosh, Bridget and Alyssa. Okay, girls, look, I do not wake up cute. I'm barely cute now. This leads me into another question, but her question was, why are you so cute? Were you born adorably cute? Do you wake up cute? It's a real question. And I don't wake up cute, because I wake up and my hair is all over the place. But lately, I've not been wearing the same amount of makeup that I normally do or have for years. And this leads into another question that a couple of people had on some of my stories about what I do, like what's my face routine, or what am I doing different with my skin, and also why I'm not wearing mascara anymore. And it's not like a hard, fast rule where I'm just not wearing mascara, but so I don't do anything really different with my skin, but somebody did mention that because I'm swimming a lot, that it's possible the chlorine could be cleaning my face better. I'm not sure the validity of this, but it kind of makes sense because I haven't had any breakouts since we've had a pool, and I've been swimming consistently at least 2 to 3 times a week, and I am going underwater and getting my face wet and swimming and doing laps and all kinds of stuff. So I'm not sure how valid that is, but I do make sure my face is clean before bed. So that is major important. I'm a night showerer anyway, so I wash and scrub my face in the shower. But the mascara thing actually started when we were told we needed to move out of our house and find another place to live. I was spending my mornings planning and making lists and packing and sorting and purging, and all the moments that I had were spent preparing to move. And so I was letting my timeline of between getting up in the morning and getting to work, I was lengthening that and not spending a lot of time getting ready. So I just kind of started going, well, mascara is kind of what takes the longest, because it's weird, I do it backwards. I put my mascara on first. It's the first eye makeup that I put on. And then because the way that my eyes are shaped, like my eyes are kind of big, so I get a lot of mascara on my eyelids, and so putting it on after eyeshadow makes no sense at all, because I literally look like a raccoon when I'm done putting on my mascara. So then I clean it off, and then I freshen up around my eyes and put all my eyeshadow on. So it's like a process. So I just kind of cut that out of my routine. And even going to client meetings, I'm thinking, you know what, I don't need to wear mascara. So I just kind of stopped. And the other part of that too was I would go swimming in the afternoon when I get home, and then I'd have just black all over my face. And so if I knew I wanted to take the boys to the pool when I got home from work, I'd think to myself, well, maybe I just won't put mascara on today. I'm not seeing anybody, I'm just at work. And I just kind of started not putting it on. And so the other day I actually wore mascara and was like, who is that? It was really weird. It was a weird feeling. It didn't go on smoothly because my eyelashes just don't seem to be used to it anymore. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I'm not currently wearing any mascara. And I'm kind of okay with it. But okay, so again, no, I'm not always cute. Sometimes nobody wants to see me. There are the few people in my life who get to see me without makeup, and now clearly everybody gets to see me without makeup. But my normal makeup that I wear is I mix a liquid foundation and a moisturizer, and I rub it all over, smooth it all, blend it all, and then I go over that with a cream to powder, a really light cream to powder. I use eyeshadow to fill in my eyebrows, and I use a neutral nude color for my eyelids, and I use blush, and that is it. That's typically all that I have ever worn. I don't contour or blend or any of those things. I don't even know how to do those things. So now I just have eliminated mascara from that for the most part, most days. And I'm kind of feeling better about the way I look without it. It's kind of a weird transition. A lot of the questions that I got were pocket page related. And I feel like it's such a large topic that I think I'd like to really hone in my answers a bit better, because I feel like I don't want to just give off the cuff answers for something that's as important as pocket documenting because it's kind of involved and it's a bit of a commitment. So I don't want to just ramble off some answers. So since I have a lot, I'm going to skip those questions and then do a separate Ask Andrea, maybe a special pocket episode. So stay tuned for that. And the next one would be, Miss Alyssa Duncan, my girl. She says, do you have a scrappy music playlist? She has several questions too, so let's do one at a time. Do you have a scrappy music playlist? I do not have a playlist specific for scrapping. I organize my playlists by theme or by feeling. So I have playlists like Feel Good or Cool Chicks or Duets or Right Now. So I have I have Right Now playlists by season for like the last 4 or 5 years. And I use Spotify, so I can create my own playlist, and I pay for the premium package, so I don't have ads or any of that, and I listen to music all day long. So nothing specific to scrapbooking or creating, but usually I can't listen to stuff that's too slow. So I usually pick playlists. Like I have a playlist called My Early Years, which is Hall & Oates and the Oak Ridge Boys and all the stuff that just reminds me of basically my first 20 years of life. And that playlist can last all day. It's really awesome. Let's see. How do you find music? Oh, well, I guess I didn't realize she asked that question, so maybe I kind of answered it. Spotify. And Spotify does a really cool thing where each Monday they give you a playlist that they've curated for you called Discover Weekly. And I have found so many fun songs from my Discover Weekly. But then once the new week starts, that old playlist goes away. So what I usually do is like on Mondays or Tuesdays while I'm at work, I put that on and I listen as I'm going along about work. And then if I really am digging a song, then I'll go to the playlist and I'll find it and then I'll scoot it over to a playlist for me, like a playlist that I've created. So then I can listen to it some more, decide if I really like it, and then it goes into one of my right now playlists, depending on when I am listening to it. And what are some ideas for, what am I saying? Oh, what are some ideas for non-people things to scrapbook? So I love scrapbooking non-people things. I would say lists about yourself, or lists about your kids, or lists about your husband, or whoever in your life. I love scrapbooking about those, and they don't necessarily need a photo to go along with it, and they don't even need a story. It can just be like a currently thing or a right now thing. Also, food. I like to scrapbook about food. I love to do my Traveler's Notebook pages about cookie dough and ice cream and Mexican food. So food, the things that you love. So if you like flowers or if you like nature and you like sunsets, that kind of thing, you can try to capture those kinds of things and scrapbook about those and how you feel about them, or, you know, what that means to you, how you feel about those things. Because it's still a story, even if it's not about a person. And, oh gosh, I had another thing. I feel like I just need to look in my... Okay, husband, don't kill me for looking back here and messing up your frame or your focus. I should be... Let me see. Let me give you an example if I have a non-person photo. See? A strawberry. Like scrapbook about food. Oh, well, I scrapbooked about my jamberry nails. You could do that. It's kind of not people related. It's still kind of thing related. Oh, look, see, this one does not even have a photo at all. And it's just about a word. So that's another idea too. Cookie dough. Honestly, it's the best. So those are some ideas. Hope that helps, honey. Her other questions are, can you see clearly now that the rain is gone? And this is why I love her, because she speaks to me in song lyrics. So I love you. Are you going to do Week in the Life this year? First of all, I do not know when it is. So I'm not 100% sure. Usually I decide if I'm going to do Week in the Life when other people start getting prepped for it, and I decide if I have too much going on or if it's something I can do. Listen, I keep getting locked out here. Bear with me. So I'm not sure. It's a big project. I actually really like Day in the Life because there's so much in a day that can be captured, and I don't find that I photograph Week in the Life only and then I never scrapbook it. I always finish, but it's a lot to take on, even though I'm already scrapbooking a week. in my normal documentation. It's just, it's so spread out. And it's been fun. I've really enjoyed the weeks that I've done it, but the last couple, I think the last time I did it was 2015. So last year I didn't do it. And I don't know if there's already been one this year. I feel like there was one in April and I didn't participate. But part of me feels like it's a little bit redundant. If I want to get more detailed into my week, then I can always choose to do that in my regular project life stuff. So, Color Me Blessed, she asks, do you ever make pages that you don't show us because you just don't love them? That's actually a really fun question. The reason why I wouldn't share something is probably not because I don't like it. And I don't want this to come off like I'm full of myself or something, but I don't really create things that I don't like. So I feel like at this point in my scrappy evolution that I kind of have a handle on how to get the result that I'm looking for. And I know if I'm going to like it or not. So it's not that I don't try new things. I kind of know how to get to the result that will make me happy. So I always like what I create at the moment, but then I do 4 or 5 years later look at that and go, oh, seriously, you did that? But I think we all do that. And that's just a progression of our own growth in how we create and what we're attracted to and what the trends are. And so it's not that I don't share because I don't love it. I don't share everything because I just honestly don't have time to share every single thing that I make. So I've really been not able to keep up with doing my 2017 flip through of my Project Life album for you guys. And it's been on my mind a lot. Like I really want to share those things. And those are the times when I will share all of my 12 by 12 and smaller size layouts in my family album. And those usually accompany pictures of all of them. So like the blog post would be the video and a single picture of each layout so that you could see that in more detail, but then I would do a flip through. So that is something that's on my list. And as we continue getting further and further into the year, I mean, I'm only on, I think I just finished week 18. I think I just finished week 18. So that's going to be like a 3-part video just to share those less than 20 weeks. So on my list. And she has 2 more questions and then we're going to wrap up this episode. What are your top 3 gotta have crafty items? So she says items and not tools. So another one of my episodes, we talked about my go-to tools. And so I'm going to not talk about tools. I'm going to talk about crafty supplies. And those would have to be paper, washi, and stamps. Those get used every single layout, every single crafty project, every single Bible page. It's just, those are the 3 things. Because you need paper, right? You need a background or you need a card to create on. And that just provides the base. It's your foundation. And so that's an absolute must. Washi tape, it's just got so many abilities, so many functions. You can create borders, you can create separation, you can create titles, just pops of color, patterns, texture, all kinds of stuff. So washi tape, always, and stamps. Stamps do a job for me. They say the words that I don't have to think about. So sentiments and letters, and this is seriously keeps turning off on me. Okay, here I go one more time. Yes, so stamps, they have words and icons that I don't have to think about. I've just spent all this energy thinking about placement and color and the graphic triangle and all these things that when I get to the end, I'm like, what do I think about what I want to say? It's just sometimes very difficult. So having stamps that say all the things is perfect. It's a perfect way to top off your layout. So even if it's just some, like a paint smush or an icon or a cluster of hearts or something, it's just kind of finishing touch to all my projects. So washi, stamps, paper. Those are my favorites. And one more question from her. Any new projects or ideas you're working on or want to work on in the near future? And fantastic question, because one of the things I just started was a daily scripture writing challenge. So one of the things I struggle with is I don't know the Bible very well. I don't know how to memorize verses. I didn't grow up with the Bible constantly. So as an adult, it's been like a textbook. And I try to remember certain verses that are meaningful, and I can probably tell you 2, and that's about it. But there's not a lot of space left in here. It's valuable real estate's being taken up by commercials from 1984. So I gotta make room. It's like a hard drive. I gotta clean it out. But so I really thought that it would be easy to just write the scripture down, because for me, writing something completely helps me memorize. It's the only way I remember things. And I'm not saying that just because I write it down once that I'm gonna all of a sudden be able to just spout off verses, but it's a start. And so I decided to use my Illustrated Faith Planner because I haven't figured out another thing to use it for, and it's just so pretty, and it's the perfect size. Here, let me show you. It's gorgeous. It's got this laminated cover, and it's thick, and it feels like, I don't know, it just feels like, I don't know, it's just like perfect. And the coils are big, and it just folds, and it's magic. It's magic. So I decided that this is what I was going to use it for, and I was going to make it super simple. And I'm not done with this verse yet, because there's more to the verse, but this is as far as I got this morning as I was stretching out my morning quiet time and not putting on makeup. Is I just wrote the verse for the day, and I'll tell you in just a second who I'm using for the prompts. So I just wrote the verse, just did a little strip of washi. I probably will do some decorating, some very minor decorating, and then I'm just gonna write the verse on the day. The lines are perfect for writing verses. So it is Sweet Blessings, and her Instagram, I'll probably end up just linking it in the video, because it's like the consonants for her name, but not any of the vowels, and so I don't remember all the letters. But it's Sweet Blessings. So you could probably Google it and find her. But that's what I would like to do, because what I don't want to do is add another project that's really heavy in tasks. I really just wanted something simple. And I originally was going to add it to my Lister's Got a List traveler's notebook, but then I thought, no, you know what? I'll keep my list separate, and I'll use this for my my verses, my scripture writing. So it's perfect. So that is it for this episode. I really love these questions, and I'm excited to be back on this side of the camera. It's really fun. And thank you to my husband. He sets up all the lights and all the cameras and helps me frame, and I'm wearing a mic. It's all official. So that's it for this episode. We'll talk again really soon. And if you have any questions or follow-up questions for any of the things that we talked about today, throw them in the comments and I'll add them to another video. So if you really liked this and you want to see more, thumbs up. And if you want to see more of all of my stuff, feel free to subscribe, and we will talk really soon. Bye.